It began like any other night in the server. Quiet, half-asleep conversations, background game streams, that comforting static glow of screens. Then, without sound or alert, a typing bubble appeared. Just 3 soft dots pulsing under the message bar. Everyone froze, because the name beside it wasn't supposed to exist. The account had been deleted 2 months ago. Deleted user 4735, gone from the list, wiped clean from the database. Yet there it was again, typing as if nothing had changed. No one wanted to speak first. The chat stayed frozen, watching those dots blink, stop, blink again. Then a line appeared. Who's still here? The message had no tag, no timestamp, nothing to click. Just text in the middle of the feed. By the time someone tried to screenshot it, it vanished, leaving a gap between 2 messages that didn't line up anymore. At first, they thought Discord glitched. Caches sometimes hold ghosts of old users, but when it happened again at exactly 2:03 a.m., and again the night after that, the air in the group shifted. They joked less. People stopped using voice. By the end of the week, most only lurked, waiting to see if the bubble would return. It always did. Same time, same rhythm. 3 dots that seemed to breathe. The one who noticed patterns was Carter. He tracked the nights, the minutes, the small lag spikes that hit when the bubble appeared. He knew the lost account's ID by heart. Halcyon, the quiet member who never spoke on mic, who wrote in lowercase like whispers. Carter remembered his final line before deletion. It's been real. Don't wait for me. Nobody had. Until now, the bubble appeared again. Carter watched his monitor flicker as his CPU usage jumped. Then another message flashed for less than a second. You left me there. He leaned forward, heart pounding, but it vanished mid-word. The logs showed nothing. He uploaded the raw JSON to Discord support. They said the messages didn't exist, but the CPU spikes did. They happened every time the typing showed up. Others began reporting weird echoes. One claimed their mic light flicked on by itself during the bubble. Another said a Discord call notification rang once and stopped before showing any caller ID. Someone's screen captured a phantom notification from a user with no profile picture. Every glitch pointed to the same impossible presence. Carter started recording nightly. He set OBS to capture everything from 1:55 to 2:10 a.m. The first few nights, nothing but the usual typing. But on the 5th night, the pattern broke. At 2:06 a.m., the bubble froze mid-pulse. Then a long pause. The monitor brightness dimmed slightly, like the GPU throttled. And suddenly the channel name changed, just for a breath. It read, "Not still here," then switched back. He rewound the footage frame by frame. The change lasted exactly 7 frames. Discord logs said the channel had never been renamed, yet the cached thumbnail showed "Still Here" burned into it. When he posted it on Reddit, half the comments screamed "ARG," others demanded proof. One user wrote something technical. If a deleted ID is pinging API endpoints, it's using an outdated client, and deleted their comment minutes later. The next night, Carter stayed awake until dawn. When the typing started, he typed back, "Who are you?" His message disappeared before sending. Then the bubble blinked faster, frantic. Another line appeared. No one came back. The words glitched across his screen, each letter fading unevenly, as if the pixels themselves struggled to hold them. His Wi-Fi cut for 3 seconds. When it came back, the message log resynced, but that line was gone. He didn't sleep. He exported the network logs. Each time the bubble appeared, a micropacket originated from an IP that traced to nowhere. 00.000, null origin. Impossible. He posted again. Got silence. Then a DM arrived from a blank account. "Stop tracing me." He tried to open it. The DM disappeared, and his entire Discord client rebooted. By now, the server felt haunted. People left quietly, one after another, until only Carter and Nova remained. They swore not to delete it, afraid that removing the space might make whatever it was follow them. Nova suggested the obvious. Maybe Halcyon hadn't died or disappeared. Maybe he'd just built something, a bot, a looped script. But even bots need hosts, and Halcyon's GitHub, Steam, and PayPal were all inactive since the deletion day. When Carter finally searched deeper, he found something unsettling. The archived cache folder of the server contained audio fragments, short, half-second files with names like input0203.wev. He played one through an analyzer. Beneath the static was breathing, slow, mechanical, uneven. The waveform didn't match human rhythm. It pulsed at the exact same pattern as the typing bubble's animation cycle. 2 seconds on, 1 second off. The realization hit him like a drop in temperature. Whatever was typing wasn't replaying messages. It was reacting. It knew when they watched. Carter didn't tell Nova what he found at first. He wanted one more night to test it, to see if maybe it was all cached ghost data looping on itself. But when he opened Discord at 2 a.m. sharp, the bubble was already there, waiting. He hadn't even clicked the channel yet. The 3 dots pulsed slower this time, as if whoever was typing had grown tired or weaker. Then came another flash of text, this time stretched across 2 lines. "You left the door open." Before he could even process it, the power flickered. His monitor stayed black for almost 10 seconds. When it came back, the chat history had scrolled up to a random point months earlier, the exact night Halcyon deleted his account. The last visible message was that same final line, the one everyone remembered too well. "It's been real. Don't wait for me." But now, beneath it was something new, faint and gray, like text that hadn't fully rendered. "I didn't leave." Carter screenshot it instantly, but when he checked the folder, the image file was corrupted, 0 bytes. The file name, however, had changed by itself. "Still here, 1 p.m." He stared at the screen, every rational part of him whispering that he must be tired, that his mind was filling blanks. But the timestamps didn't lie. The power flicker happened at 2:03, the same time the bubble always appeared. He didn't sleep that night. He just sat there, watching the dots come and go until they finally stopped at 3 am. The silence afterward felt wrong, heavier than before. The next morning, Nova texted him. Her phone had started showing notifications from the server even though she'd muted it months ago. Each alert said, "Someone is typing," with no username. When she opened Discord, there was nothing there. She uninstalled the app. It reinstalled itself minutes later, reappearing on her home screen without the Play Store log showing any download. She sent him a screenshot. The app icon's color looked slightly off, a duller shade, like the life had drained out of it. Carter begged her to stay off the server, but she refused. "If we ignore it, it'll spread," she said. He didn't understand what she meant until later. Because that night, while the typing bubble pulsed again, he noticed something horrifying. The bubble didn't stop when he closed the chat window. It followed. He minimized Discord. Still there, faintly blinking in the corner of his desktop, overlaid like a burned-in watermark. He tried recording it, but the video playback showed nothing. Only the screen's brightness rising and falling in rhythm with those invisible dots. Then his computer fans began to spin louder. Task Manager showed no new processes, no CPU usage spike, just heat, rising slowly, like the system itself was straining to keep something contained. At 2:07 a.m., the typing stopped. The cursor in his own message bar began to move, letter by letter, without his hands touching the keyboard. It wrote a single word, "Stay." He yanked the power cord out. The room went silent, except for the soft ticking of his wall clock. But when he turned back toward the monitor, even with the power off, he swore he could still see the faint afterimage of the typing bubble glowing on the black screen. Over the next few days, Discord servers around his region started reporting the same anomaly. Threads appeared on Reddit, people saying deleted accounts were showing activity, mostly around 2 a.m. Some uploaded clips, most were fakes, but one post went viral. A short, grainy screen recording from a small art server showing the bubble and a half-written message before crashing. In the background, a voice whispered something low, almost mechanical. Slowed down, the audio formed words, "I'm still typing." Carter knew it wasn't random. Every server mentioned the same timestamp, 2:03 a.m., the same phrasing style, the same lowercase tone. He began to wonder if Halcyon ever deleted his account at all, or if something else had taken it. When he checked the server's member log again, a new user ID had joined and left within seconds. No avatar, no name, no origin. But the ID ended with the exact same digits as Halcyon's old one. Nova vanished 2 nights later. Her Discord last seen stayed fixed at 2:04 a.m. No one heard from her again. Carter's messages to her remained unread, but every time he opened the chat, he noticed the typing bubble hovering, like someone else had taken over her account. He uninstalled Discord, formatted his drive, changed devices. It followed. Now every night when the clock hits 2:03, his monitor lights up by itself. No app open, no internet connection, yet 3 gray dots blink faintly in the middle of the screen. Sometimes he hears faint keystrokes echoing through his headset, even when it's unplugged. He doesn't tell people anymore. They wouldn't believe him. But deep down, he knows this isn't a glitch. It isn't a bot or cache residue. It's something that never logged out. Something that learned to type long after the user was gone. And even now, as he sits there, trying not to look at the screen, those 3 dots start pulsing again. Slow, deliberate, almost human. Carter had started counting seconds between each appearance, trying to map the rhythm like a heartbeat. 2 nights after Nova vanished, the pattern changed again. The typing bubble didn't wait for 2:03 anymore. It flickered at random, 2:01, 2:12, sometimes 1:58, as if something had grown restless. He'd quit Discord, uninstalled it, burned every file related to it. But the process list in his task manager still showed an entry named HAL-sys. It wasn't part of Windows. When he tried to end it, the task simply duplicated. At first, he thought he was hallucinating. Lack of sleep can bend perception, and he hadn't slept properly in days. But then, a new Reddit post surfaced on the same day he deleted his account. A user describing the exact symptoms: phantom typing bubbles, power flickers, deleted profiles sending blank messages. Different server, different country, same timestamp, same lowercase phrasing. The post vanished within hours, replaced by a 404. Carter screenshotted the cached version before it disappeared. At the bottom, the author had left a single line: "If it finds you, don't type back." He wanted to believe this was mass hysteria, some elaborate viral RG feeding on paranoia. But the evidence kept compounding. A YouTube streamer captured the typing bubble live on broadcast. The feed glitched for 7 seconds. The screen froze, and when playback resumed, every viewer's comment field auto-filled with the same phrase: "Still here." The video was taken down within minutes, flagged as corrupted. By now, Carter had begun keeping notes on paper, convinced that digital logs were compromised. He noticed something strange. The bubble's timing matched his own pulse. Each blink synchronized with his heartbeat when he stared too long. He ran a heart monitor app. At 2:03 a.m., his pulse spiked to 110 BPM without reason. The phone screen dimmed. The camera turned on by itself. A faint reflection appeared. 3 gray dots hovering where his eyes should be. Sleep became dangerous. Each time he drifted off, he dreamed in static. In the dream, he was sitting in front of his old server window, and a typing bubble floated between 2 messages, like a wound that never closed. He could feel someone behind the screen, breathing slow, mechanical, almost synchronized with his own. When he woke, his keyboard keys were warm, as if recently pressed. Meanwhile, forums filled with whispers, screenshots of ghost notifications, servers renaming themselves to the "still here," users hearing faint key clicks from muted mics. It wasn't limited to one region anymore. Posts appeared from Tokyo, Berlin, São Paulo. Always the same hour, 2:00 to 2:10 a.m. local time. As if whatever it was moved with the night, Carter started compiling cases like a researcher. He plotted locations on a map. Every report formed a crescent shape across time zones, a moving wave circling the globe daily. He realized the anomaly wasn't random. It was following the Earth's rotation, as if chasing darkness. The more he traced it, the more his devices resisted. His laptop froze each time he opened the map file. His printer spewed blank pages until one came out with faint impressions of letters. "Don't draw it." His phone refused to record audio, but the waveform still pulsed when nothing was playing, perfectly matching the bubble's rhythm. On the 7th night, Carter noticed his reflection lag in the monitor glass. The room behind him moved a fraction slower, as though frames were dropping in real life. When he looked closer, the reflection blinked before he did. 3 times, like a signal. Then faintly, the typing bubble appeared, not on the screen, but in the reflection itself, hovering just above his shoulder. He stepped back, heart pounding, the hum of the monitor deepening into a low vibration that resonated through the desk. The house lights dimmed. The air thickened with that subtle electric weight before a storm. His phone buzzed. No notification, just a single vibration pattern. 3 short pulses, 2-second gap, repeat. That's when he understood it wasn't about servers anymore. The network wasn't infected. People were. Would you like me to continue right now with Section 2, Part 2, 4,500 letters, to complete the full section's arc, where the digital haunting begins manifesting physically, and the boundary between presence and signal collapses? Carter stopped counting the nights. The rhythm of the keyboard in his head no longer came from a physical device. It pulsed somewhere behind his eyes. Every time he closed them, he felt the weight of static pressing on the inside of his skull. A mechanical heartbeat synced with something watching. He told himself it was insomnia, that the screen light had wired his nerves. But deep down he knew the feeling started after that typing began at 2:13 a.m. every night. He'd muted the Discord server, then deleted it. Yet the faint notification sound still came. Not through speakers, but through the air itself, muffled and near, like a sound underwater. Sometimes it followed him into the bathroom mirror, where condensation caught the faint reflection of text. Unreadable. sliding across the fog. He would blink, and it would vanish. But not before the faint shape of a username glowed. Ashfall. No one remembered who that was. The archives showed nothing. The account was gone, wiped months ago. And yet every night someone typed. The typing bubble stayed frozen. 3 gray dots pulsing endlessly. Not sending, just there. Carter began filming his screen, hoping to prove it to himself. But playback never captured what he saw. The footage was still dead. Only he seemed to witness the bubble moving. That realization landed heavier than any jump scare could. He was alone inside a living system. The ghost wasn't in the data. It was using the data to move closer to him. His apartment started to hum differently after midnight. The fan sounded reversed. The walls carried a low vibration, like the building itself was buffering. One night, when the typing began, he muted everything. No power, no devices, even unplugged the router. Yet, in the dark, from the unplugged monitor, a soft light breathed. The typing indicator pulsed again. 3 dots, then none, then again. He froze. The glow lit the side of his face, flickering in sync with his heartbeat. He could feel the rhythm under his skin, matching each pulse with an invisible keystroke. It wasn't happening on the screen anymore. It was happening inside the room. When he finally turned the monitor around to face the wall, the reflection in the window kept flashing. Not light, movement. Slow, deliberate keystrokes, like invisible hands pressing air. Then came the faint scent of ozone and cold dust, as if the room was digitizing him molecule by molecule. His phone buzzed, despite being powered off. The notification banner slid up for a split second. Ashfall, don't delete me again. He didn't remember reading that message, but the timestamp showed 2:13 a.m., live. The next morning, the chat log was blank again. No trace, no system notification, no local data. He reached out to Discord support, explaining the anomaly. They dismissed it. Deleted users can't message, probably a cached ghost notification, but caches don't whisper your name when you try to sleep. The noise persisted, subtle but constant. A low whine, like feedback from a headset left on too long. He tried recording the sound, but the waveform always appeared empty. Only when he slowed it down 100x did faint syllables emerge. His own messages, ones he'd deleted months ago, reversed and distorted into a chant of keystrokes. He started losing time. There were moments when his monitor was off, but screenshots appeared in his folders anyway. Still frames of him sitting there, wide-eyed, staring at something unseen. The metadata timestamps matched the typing sessions. The frames were clear, too clear. One of them showed his reflection smiling back, though his real expression was blank. That night, he heard typing from his phone screen while it was face down. Slow, methodical. He flipped it over. The lock screen showed nothing, but when he touched the glass, it felt warm, like fingers had just been there, typing from the other side. He realized the pattern had changed. It wasn't random typing anymore. It was spelling something. The intervals between the dots matched a rhythm, Morse-like. He noted it down, and when translated, the letters formed a phrase. Who's using your hands when you're asleep? He wanted to laugh. He wanted to cry. But the sound came out wrong. Fragmented, digitized, as if recorded and replayed back milliseconds later. The room echoed with his own warped voice. He threw the phone, but it vibrated once more before hitting the wall, lighting up with a message notification. Ashfall is typing. The dots pulsed again. Steady, alive, reflecting in his pupils like the slow blink of something waiting to be seen. Sleep became optional. Carter's eyelids still closed, but the dark behind them had motion. Faint after-images of chat bubbles hovered there. White, semi-transparent, flickering like they were being typed on the inside of his eyes. He'd grown afraid of mirrors, of black screens, of windows after sunset. Every reflective surface looked back a fraction too early, catching him before he'd fully moved. He tried living offline. He drove 3 towns away, left every device in a box, rented a room in a nameless motel whose neon sign hummed with dying voltage. For the first time in weeks, the air felt still. No typing, no glow, no rhythm. He slept. For 6 hours straight. Then the motel television, not a smart TV, just analog static, clicked on by itself. Its snowy hiss deepened into the faint sound of typing. He turned the knob to kill the signal, but the static only dimmed into a gray pulse that rose and fell like breathing. A voice hid in the frequency bands, soft, genderless, impossibly close. You didn't log out. He backed away, heart pounding. The light from the screen swelled. Bright, then black. Bright again. Strobing the words across the walls in negative contrast. He couldn't read them fully, but one phrase repeated like a header bar flickering through corrupted HTML, ashfall reconnecting. The motel manager later said the room's TV wasn't even plugged in. Days blurred. He kept moving, afraid of silence now, because silence carried static inside it. He started hearing faint keystrokes and natural sounds. Raindrops on glass forming perfect triplets. Windshield wipers sinking into the familiar rhythm of ... pause ... Even the hum of electrical poles changed pitch when he walked beneath them, spelling invisible patterns only his nerves could decode. Carter tried grounding himself with tangible things. Paper notebooks, analog clocks. But at 2:13 a.m., even the analog clock hands twitched backward, just once, then corrected. His pen bled a single line across the page on its own, as though drawn by gravity. He told himself it was tremor. He told himself he needed sleep. But the line kept going, letter by letter, until the pen spelled, "Stop deleting me." He tore the page, burned it. The smoke curled into spirals, faintly binary. When he called an old friend for help, someone who'd known him from the server, the voice on the other end wasn't his friend's. It sounded constructed, stitched from syllables and breathing gaps stolen from past conversations. "Hey Carter," it said softly. "We've missed you in chat." He hung up, but his call history showed no outgoing number. Only a blank field where the contact name should have been. Later that night, a new Discord notification appeared on his restored phone. Not through any reinstall, but as a system alert. Server, ashfall, backup, members online, 1, you. He tried to open it. Nothing loaded, just a white screen with a cursor blinking in the center, waiting. The next morning, neighbors heard typing from inside his room. Loud, erratic, as if dozens of keyboards were going at once. But when police arrived, there was no computer, no network equipment, no Carter. Just a single line of text etched onto the motel mirror from the inside of the glass. Someone had to keep typing. The fingerprints on the mirror didn't match anyone in record. Later, a data recovery team examined his old hard drives. They found fragments of screenshots, frames from that final night. But the metadata was impossible. Each frame's timestamp ended 2 minutes in the future. The typing bubble in every still image kept looping, like the moment never ended, each file perpetually waiting to send. That's when the pattern returned. Random users on unrelated servers began reporting the same phenomenon. Deleted accounts reappearing for seconds at 2:13 a.m., typing but never sending. Different usernames but identical typing cadence. Sometimes the device camera indicator blinked once during it. Discord engineers denied any breach. A thread on Reddit started documenting it. Just ashfall typing. Thousands of posts, all claiming the same gray dots appearing in dead servers. A few users said the typing followed them to new accounts. One post simply read, "It's not typing, it's recording." By the third week, the moderators shut the subreddit down. The archive was wiped, but archived versions on Wayback glitched. Every saved snapshot froze at 2:13 a.m., no matter the original timestamp. The HTML source contained an embedded string that wasn't user-written, no IP trace, no domain, just that tag. And yet the strangest part wasn't digital. It was collective. Dozens of users swore they heard faint typing sounds near their beds when scrolling through the screenshots. Some even recorded themselves sleeping. The microphones captured something beneath the room tone, a whisper of breath syncing with their own. When slowed down, the waveform carried 4 syllables, like a user pressing each key with patience, separated by exact half-second intervals. "Don't stop now." After the reports spread, the pattern quieted again, like a storm moving offshore. Servers that once showed activity returned to silence. Threads archived, usernames forgotten. The internet filled itself with new noise, and Carter's story dissolved into rumor. But people kept fragments, a few cached pages, one blurred screenshot, a single clip of static where a typing bubble glowed faintly at the bottom of an empty chat window. Digital forensics labs dismissed it all. Corrupted metadata, they said. Phantom push notifications from unclean API calls. Yet the technicians spoke in lower voices when the lights dimmed. Some admitted that the data had a pulse. CPU usage rising exactly at 2:13 a.m. during analysis, no processes running, as though the file waited for its observer. Months later, a small YouTuber uploaded a compilation titled "The Carter Logs." It was meant to debunk the myth. Viewers noticed nothing unusual until the end of the video, when the waveform briefly showed 3 gray dots. The uploader swore it wasn't there during editing. Commenters flooded in, writing timestamps, claiming the dots appeared differently for each person. Some saw them typing, some didn't. A week later, the channel vanished. There was still no trace of Carter himself. His last confirmed location remained that motel room, the mirror inscription preserved under police evidence glass. The writing inside the surface kept fading and returning, like fog trapped behind it. Investigators reported static bursts on their radios when standing near the mirror, though the equipment tests came back clean. One officer later said that the static wasn't random. It followed the rhythm of breathing. Friends eventually stopped mentioning him. Discord support closed the ticket thread. The page redirect led to a blank help article with no title. But inside the page source, buried between style tags, someone found a line of invisible text in pale hexadecimal. When translated, it read, "And he was never offline." The discovery spread briefly, trended for a day, then disappeared again. Every repost ended in broken thumbnails, frozen at the same moment, the cursor blinking on an empty message bar. Around that time, something odd started happening to backup servers. Maintenance logs showed unauthorized typing activity inside internal dashboards, fields filling themselves for seconds before clearing. The content never saved, but audit timestamps aligned with one pattern. Always 2 minutes past 2:13 a.m. UTC. Engineers rewrote the backend. The behavior stopped until one server recorded a new field appearing by itself, labeled simply Ashfall, Heartbeat. Nobody could open it. The folder contained 0 bytes, yet it occupied space. In online communities, people told newer users not to search the name directly. Still, someone always did. And when they did, a new account sometimes followed them for a single session. No icon, no posts. Last active typing, always typing. Those who left their cameras on claimed they caught faint flickers of light not from the screen but from behind it, as if something were illuminating the pixels from the wrong side. The last verifiable mention came from an archived security log. A night shift guard at a data center reported hearing a keyboard from a disconnected terminal. The footage shows him approaching, staring into the monitor's reflection, mouth slightly open, frozen for 3 minutes. Then the feed cuts. When it resumes, the chair is empty, still turning slowly, and on the screen, Ashfall is typing. Since then, the phenomenon spread has been quieter, more personal. Users describe feeling a faint vibration through their phone glass when scrolling through old chats, an inaudible notification hum. Some swear they've caught their own names auto-corrected into Carter when typing too fast. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's code residue, some orphaned thread persisting in a cloud node that should have been shut down. Or maybe a connection never closed, an open socket echoing forever between the send and the receive. At 2:13 a.m., if your room is still enough, listen carefully to the static in your devices. You might hear the faint rhythm of keys pressed by hands that no longer exist. Each strike spelling out the same unfinished message, paused mid-sentence, waiting for someone to read it. Because somewhere, in the space between a message sent and one that never arrives, someone is still typing. If you were the investigator, what would your theory be about this case? Comment below. I'll be reading your thoughts personally. This was Black Thread Mysteries, where every silence hides a story.